Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/.
March 13, 10:48 America, New York, Ontario COVID-19 numbers. Province reports 228 people in intensive care. A total of 1,631 new COVID-19 cases were reported in Ontario. However, experts caution that is likely an undercount due to the more stringent testing rules. World News, December 27, 2020.
New York Times World News.
March 13, 10:32 America, New York. Shanghai restricts travel further as China's new cases double. Lining up for coronavirus tests on Friday in Shanghai.
Fox World News.
March 13, 10:24 America, New York. 85 children killed in Ukraine. More than 100 wounded since start of Russian invasion, Ukrainian official says. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has killed 85 children and wounded more than 100 others, a Ukrainian official said Sunday.
Wall Street Journal World News. March 13, 10:16 America, New York. Saudis fight to turn the tide in Yemen's civil war. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have stepped up their bombing campaign to support Yemen's government as they try to stop Iran-backed Houthi rebels from seizing full control of the country's north.
Washington Post World.
March 13, 10:14 America, New York. Ukraine is accusing Russia of abducting a second mayor within days, in new phase of invasion. The reported kidnapping of Dnipro Mayor Yevgeny Matveyev follows another abduction of Melitopol Mayor Ivan Fedorov.
WorldCBSNews.com.
March 13, 10:14 America, New York. Explorer Ernest Shackleton's ship found. Last week archaeologists discovered the wreck of Endurance, the vessel from Ernest Shackleton's fabled Antarctic expedition of over a century ago, nearly 2 miles below the surface of the icy Weddell Sea. Jane Polly reports.
WorldCBSNews.com.
March 13, 10:14 America, New York. Sullivan denounces Russia for shocking killing of U.S. journalist in Ukraine. The New York Times said the filmmaker, Brent Renaud, worked for the outlet in the past but was not on assignment for them in Ukraine.
Washington Post World. March 13, 10:12 America, New York. Russian missiles strike Ukrainian military range near Poland, killing dozens. Lviv officials said 35 people were killed and 134 injured at a Ukrainian training facility that has been used by U.S. and NATO forces.
New York Times World News.
March 13, 10:04 America, New York. Brent Renaud, an American journalist, is killed in Ukraine. An award-winning filmmaker and journalist, Mr. Renaud, 50, was killed while reporting in a suburb of Kyiv. Another journalist was wounded. Brent Renaud, right, and his brother Craig in Little Rock, Arkansas, in 2007.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/. March 13, 10 o'clock America, New York. The proper way to pair food and music. Warning. What you're about to read may forever alter the way you view music when it comes time to eat and drink. Pizza. Washington Post World.
March 13, 9:55 America, New York. Chad's junta and rebel groups open peace talks in Qatar. Chad's ruling military council and representatives of rebel forces are meeting for the formal opening of peace talks in Qatar.
BBC News World.
March 13, 9:48 America, New York. War in Ukraine. Video shows destroyed buildings on fire after shelling. Footage shared by the State Emergency Service of Ukraine shows buildings in Chernihiv totally destroyed.
WorldCBSNews.com.
March 13, 9:45 America, New York. American journalist killed by Russian forces in Ukraine, police say. Brent Renaud, a 50-year-old filmmaker, was killed when Russian troops opened fire, according to the head of Kiev's regional police force.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/.
March 13, 9:44 America, New York. U.S. journalist killed, 1 other wounded in North Ukraine. Brent Renaud, a U.S. citizen and award-winning filmmaker who has contributed to the New York Times, was fatally shot in the city of Irpin on Sunday. The 74th Annual Peabody Award Ceremony. Arrivals. Fox World News.
March 13, 9:29 America, New York. Former NYT contributor killed. Other journalists wounded by Russian fire, Kyiv police say. Ukraine National Police said foreign journalists wounded, former New York Times contributor killed by Russian forces.
Fox World News, March 13, 9:25 America, New York. Russian airstrike targets Orthodox Christian monastery where 200 children were sheltering, report. Orthodox Christian monastery, Holy Dormition Svitogorsk Lavra, in Ukraine sheltering hundreds of refugees, including children, was reportedly hit by an airstrike Saturday night.
Mirror World News,
March 13, 9:24 America, New York. Vote. Should seized homes of Russian oligarchs be used to house refugees? Secretary Michael Gove says he also wants to use the seized homes of Russian oligarchs in the UK to home Ukrainian refugees. What do you think of the proposal?
Mirror World News,
March 13, 9:21 America, New York. Ukraine women's mags advise how to shoot with fake nails and eat well on rations. Editor-in-chief of Marie Claire in Ukraine, Irina Tatarenko, says her team of staff are advising women with practical and psychological solutions to the issues that facing a war presents.
World News, breaking international news and headlines, Sky News. March 13, 9:18 America, New York. Award-winning American filmmaker killed in Ukraine, New York Times says. An award-winning American photographer and filmmaker has been killed in Ukraine, the New York Times has said.
BBC News World,
March 13, 9:17 America, New York. Ukraine war. Sky turned red as missiles hit Lviv military base. A witness to a deadly Russian attack on a Ukrainian military base describes the moment missiles struck the site.
Mirror World News,
March 13, 9:08 America, New York. Breaking American journalist, shot dead by Russians, Ukraine police claim. We'll be bringing you the very latest updates, pictures and video on this breaking news story.
Fox News, March 13, 8:35 America, New York. Every iPhone and Android user should know these genius commands. Here are some useful tips to best use your iPhone or Android phone's smart assistant.
Wall Street Journal World News.
March 13, 8:26 America, New York. Iran's Revolutionary Guard claims missile attack, raising tensions. The statement came hours after U.S. officials said missiles originating from Iran struck in the vicinity of a new American consulate under construction in northern Iraq.